Blog Talk Radio.
What is up? Long time no talk. Field Street Forum live. Coming back at you here on a Wednesday. 1 week to go before National Signing Day. And Georgia is looking to close strong. Put a huge bow on top of this recruiting class. How is Georgia going to close? What kind of finish are they going to have? They're going to be as strong as last year's finish. Going to have any surprises on National Signing Day? It's always fun, and with Kirby, you just never know, man. But we'll talk about that. We will talk about some of the preferred walk-ons that just ended up committing to Georgia this past week, basically. Georgia had a decommitment this week. Frustrating, but we'll see, what everybody thinks about that. I think Georgia's still an option for him going forward. So we'll see how that goes. Again, like I said, we'll talk about how we think Georgia finishes this year for National Signing Day. We'll have an opportunity to talk about Coach Charlton, the new defensive backs coach. We haven't been on air since we had that signing, so was quite a move, man. A great move for Kirby and Georgia, and able to bring in one of the top defensive back coaches in the country. So I think Georgia's in good shape in that situation. I think it's tough to say an improvement because Tucker was a hell of a defensive backs coach along with the defensive coordinator job that he did. But, it's going to be big for recruiting, but we'll talk more about it as we get into the show. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Just give us a call, 347-850-8025, 347-850-8025. Hit us up on Facebook or Twitter at Field Street Forum, Field ST Forum. And also, of course, the website, fieldstreetforum.com, fieldstforum.com. Hit up the Classic City Cavern. Up to date, most current date, and throw some questions on there too, man. Would love to hear from you guys. I will be joined here soon by Jason Harry Dog and maybe Dustin as well. I don't know if he's going to be calling in tonight or not. I know we're not on our usual night. It's not Wednesday, by the way. I think I did say that earlier, but our usual night is Wednesday, but having some internet issues last night, so decided to just postpone it and head on out and get it wrapped up tonight. And like I said, next Wednesday is National Signing Day, so don't want to confuse anybody. Not on tape delay or anything like that. But yeah, it's all good. We'll anything you guys want to talk about, Georgia related, college football related. Got the Dion 30 for 30 on right now as well. Dion's double play when he was playing for the Falcons and the Braves. a nice time and enjoyable time in my life as well. So all good. But that should be a fun documentary. Got it on record, so ready to watch that after the show. And Dustin, you there, bud?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
What's going on, man? Been a while.
No, man, how you been?
Good. Had to take a little time off, but it's not exactly a crazy busy time. You know, I mean, we got stuff happening, but really hasn't been anything to truly talk about that much. So we're just kind of playing it by ear here on the show, and so it's all good. Been a busy week for Georgia just recently, but not necessarily with recruiting per se. I mean, it's recruiting, but not for scholarship players. Georgia had, 4 preferred walk-ons make their intentions known this past week. Brandon Bunkley, who I know Pittman really likes this kid because, you know, you saw a lot of him recruiting him and hanging out with him on recruiting visits and stuff like that, and you know, going out on social media and with pictures and videos with him and everything. So Bunkley, I think he could be a potential scholarship player down the road, I think, don't you? Yeah. And it looks like he's got a pretty nasty streak from some of the film I saw. I didn't watch a ton of it, but what I did see, he he definitely plays till just after the whistle, like they like to teach him how.
He likes pancakes.
Huh?
I said he likes to get those pancakes even to the very end.
All forms of pancakes are on his menu, I'll tell you. That kid can play, dude. Now, I'm going to tell you.
Didn't somebody say that dude was 295 pounds? If that dude's 295 pounds, I'm 6'7".
And I can verify. See, Jason is not 6'7".
I was telling Dre on all social media, Jordan Davis, he's going to be at least 10 pounds bigger the way he's eating.
Yeah, he has definitely been hitting the weights and eating right, doing everything he needs to do to improve. That cat is doing it, man. I'm going to tell you.
Hey, did y'all see that? Did y'all see that video UGA football put out on Twitter where Isaiah Wilson was cleaning? Whatever that's called, the power clean or whatever.
He's not even jumping.
That dude has transformed his body. Oh, my God. It looked like he has an ounce of fat now.
And that was the only real knock was, you know, would he be able to put in the work to make it happen, you know, in the weight room and everything. And there's no doubt he's done that. So you had Brandon Bunkley, and then you also had Cody Carter. Now I haven't seen as much of him as I have Bunkley, but Jason or Dustin, neither one of y'all seen much of Carter's, how he looks on the field?
I haven't.
Man, I don't even know who that is. I'm being honest.
He's a big offense, another big.
Yeah, you got me there. All I know is an offensive lineman, a long snapper, and a running back. That's the only ones I saw.
Yeah, J.C. Vega is the long snapper, which is always good to have, obviously. And then Savon Clark was the running back who committed, preferred walk-on. And again,
he looks pretty dang good.
Really?
Yeah, I like him.
And just to let everybody know now, Jason, the name escapes me, but who was the offensive lineman that was a PWO that we had on the show, him and his folks.
Oh, crap.
Anyway, if you can think of it, go ahead and shout it out. But just to let people know, when his dad came on and the young man came on with us, it was pretty much like with preferred walk-on. You know, you have everything that the scholarship guys have. You have the food plans and any tutoring help and everything, but the fact that your actual tuition and everything is covered. So, but food-wise, you're able to get the same thing. So, and they recruit you just as hard to that as they do, almost as much as the scholarship guys. So, they said they definitely felt a lot of, had a lot of attention from schools and from Georgia and everything. This was a few years ago before Kirby came in, but just felt like a priority, even as a preferred walk-on. It wasn't like a second status or anything like that. It was a secondary status. It was still you definitely felt the want and the need for it and everything. So it's not just an afterthought kind of thing, is basically the point I'm trying to make. And was it Swilly or something like that?
Thomas Swilly.
That's right. So, but yeah, and the family came on. So like I said,
I didn't know Thomas until you said Swilly.
Oh, okay.
Alley-oop.
Yeah. That's why we do a good show, Jason, because I say one thing and you pick right up off of it, man.
Yeah, usually you're right and I'm wrong. So.
So, but yeah, so I just want people to know it. And you know what? That was one thing when Kirby did come over, was a extreme point of emphasis that he wanted to boost even where it was, is really boost that preferred walk-on plan. He put Schumann in charge of it that first year anyway, for sure. I don't know if he still is or not, but
whoever was doing it then, Schumann killed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does a fantastic job with it. So, I mean, these are kids that would have scholarship offers at other places, man. And they're able to convince them and recruit them to Georgia to come in as, the preferred walk-on. Like I said, it's a great deal for them, and most, I would say, may be able to transfer it into a scholarship at times if you get enough. Take the right thing, work hard enough. Yep. Rodrigo. I guess specialists. The specialists might have a little bit of an advantage because they are such a wanted bunch. But it's a great thing, man. Always good to have the preferred walk-ons. See them get some playing time in games, things like that. So. All good, man. Let's see. I guess next we need to talk about our new defensive backs coach, Warren Charlton.
I thought it was Charlton Warren.
What'd I say?
Because the Warren Charlton?
Did I mix it up?
I can't remember now. You got me all screwed up.
That's right.
Yeah, Charlton Warren. Sorry, it's been a rough night. I had to rush back in from dinner. Got this going on.
It is Charlton Warren.
Yeah,
I'm writing stuff.
Charlton Warren. All right, we'll mark it down.
Everybody gets lucky every once in a while.
But yeah, that was such a lockdown. We had been talking about it for weeks, it seemed like. when was it going to happen? Who was it going to be? Everybody had ideas of who they thought it would be, and none of us were right. In fact, even the only time I really saw Warren's name mentioned was when some of the reporters would say, "Well, Charlton Warren is possibly a candidate, but he's not even going to interview most likely." And next thing you know, a few weeks later, he is the new defensive backs coach. I don't know if he got it without an interview or what, according to the, like Lanning. Maybe it was like Lanning where he didn't even interview him. That's the guy he wanted, and he went and got him. I don't know. But this guy's resume is comparable with anybody. You can put it up against anybody's in the country, be it at North Carolina, Air Force, Nebraska, Florida, and everywhere he went. When you compare stats, the team improved every time, after his arrival. I guess, Jason, what is that? What does this hire mean for Georgia, in your opinion?
You know what? The only thing that worries me about him is the fact that he's had, I think, 6 different jobs since 2013. I think it's 6.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that worries me. Why is he moving around so much?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a step up each time? Because, I guess Florida to Georgia is kind of a step up, but, historically it's basically lateral.
Yeah. I think I heard this talked about, and I think if you go back and kind of look into it more, most times there was a coaching change at the program.
I know Tennessee. Yeah, I know with Tennessee, Butch got fired and the whole staff did, right?
Yeah.
I think there was one other time that happened, if I remember right.
Right?
Yeah, when Chizik left or got.
That's really the only thing that worries me.
Yeah.
That
now,
otherwise,
he was with Air Force. He was with Air Force. His alma mater. He was there for like 8 years. So I don't know if that makes up for any of it, but I know what you mean.
I think he can coach. He can recruit.
Mhm.
Besides that, perfect.
Yeah.
And what? I know he coached the Air Force, but wasn't he military too? Like before that or something, before he coached?
Yeah, he was Air Force Academy.
And yeah, so he went there and coached there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know your boy has a work ethic.
Right. No doubt. And coach, like I said, coached there for 8 years too.
Yeah, if he didn't, then Kirby Smart wouldn't be hiring him.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was your biggest takeaway, Dustin? Was it recruiting wise, coaching wise? What do you think?
I just like his work ethic from everything I've seen, and also anytime you can troll Florida in the span of doing it, that also helps. But we're paying him the most for any defensive back coach, $600K for 3 years. So, to his point, I just don't know if anybody's going to match that, and I don't think he's going to end up being the defensive coordinator in the next 1 to 2 years. So I think it's a good hire if you wanted to actually promote Lanning. So I'm good with it.
Yeah. And I'm guessing a lot of folks think, has Kaiir Elam talked about this hire much? How did he really kind of? I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people thought it could really help Georgia. Obviously with Elam, but I think there could have been some concern about maybe some backlash from Warren leaving Florida. Because he was his main recruiter at Florida, in house with him and everything, and then all the next thing you know, on Elam's visit, Warren ends up being coming out and being the defensive backs coach. Has there been any? Has he talked about that much, or how he thought about it?
I don't think
he's been on
interview. I don't think he's been on interview for saying anything about it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these guys who wait for the second go around, they're kind of delaying, and when it gets closer to signing day, they don't really say much because they got to actually come to a decision. So I'm sure he's pretty nervous right now.
Mhm. How do y'all think he would take take it? Is it you think it's overall good thing for Georgia to bring Warren in for his specific case or his specific recruitment?
I mean, I would say yes. I'm sure Florida's going to say that he's a liar and stuff like that. But, I mean, I think he's proven to have a good bond with this guy. I mean, I think his family having a legacy with Florida is probably the only thing he's hanging on to right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really call him a liar when he told you everything up front.
Yeah, that's really the big thing. Is how was it presented? Was it they didn't surprise him with it, or did he just?
Well, I'm just telling you what Dan Mullen's saying to him, because you know how salty he is, Georgia.
Kirby's getting some miles in on the Kirby copter. He's been flying that, getting plenty of time in the Kirby copter all over the state. Did he go? What? Grayson? Where else did? Was it Troup County? I mean, he went all over the place with this thing.
Man,
that receiver down there. He could have went.
Yeah, that dude's been in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, everywhere.
Oh man, it's Kirby knows how to keep Georgia in the news, keep people talking about Georgia. Recruit. I mean, it's crazy, man. The work that he is putting in right now, and the coaching staff is putting in. It's a. I don't know how I don't know how they do it. I don't know how these college coaches do it. The ones that do it go hard like this, like Kirby does, and requires of his coaching staff. They gotta just. I don't know how they have enough hours in the day to get it done, to recoup and sleep and everything else, man. I don't know. it takes a special
vacation.
Yeah. Do what now?
I said, does he even vacation? I don't even think I've ever really seen him post much. Golfing, that's about it.
Yeah. Do they still do the one like a week after the season or something like that? Or I can't remember. Maybe that was before.
No, they go. I know they go after National Signing Day.
That's right. Before they get started for
spring practice
for spring ball. Mhm.
I tell you
that makes sense.
That one picture they put out of Dan Mullen getting out of a helicopter. Man, I don't know what I'd be thinking if that joker came out walking out of a helicopter. I'd be like, who's that goofy son of a right there? So, I mean, you see like Kirby Smart getting out, and you could tell, he's a football coach. Even even Saban's little bitty self, or Muschamp, you could tell. They're just like, these dudes are football coaches, And Mullen comes walking out, I'm like, hey, who is that dude?
I mean, it just seems kind of nerdy, man. I mean, I don't know.
I tell Jason this all the time. He's the worst coach in America to have Jordan as his brand.
Yeah.
I mean, he wears blazers and all this stuff, and I'm like, bro, that's not a good look.
And our moronic athletic director wanted him as a freaking head coach.
Yeah. Yes, I'm so glad it worked out the way it did, because we would have him doing those same exact things and looking the same exact dorky way except representing Georgia, for God's sake.
I believe I'd have to kill him.
for the sake of the program.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take one for the team and go to jail for murder. It just does not come across genuine to me the way he is, the way he acts. I don't know. But that is like I said, that's a big get for Georgia, I think, to be completely honest. I think a lot of people were thinking it was going to be Ansley or the guy from the Ravens, or Richard, I guess, the Cowboys defensive coordinator. Eventually, we ended up making some coaches a lot of money this offseason. I'll tell you that, between offensive and defensive coordinator jobs being open, defensive back coach. This has been I'll tell you
agent's dream.
I'm sure it's a pipe dream, but not saying I don't like Warren or don't want Warren. But I would have been happy with Warren or Torian Gray or Ansley or whatever. Mm-hmm. But man, if we could have got Richard,
yeah.
I'm sure it was a pipe dream and all that good stuff. But dadgum, man.
Yeah. Pipe dream, but also I think we would be having the same discussion again next year, because I think that guy's on track for, head coaching jobs and things like that in the NFL. So I don't know. I think he's on a track above and beyond, the Georgia defensive coordinator job right now.
Well, somebody must have been trying to go after him, because Jerry Jones is pretty quick on sealing the deal on that.
Yeah, I do think Georgia maybe did at least make an offer, and talk to the guy, because him and Kirby had previous coaching before, and I guess it was with the Dolphins I guess he was still playing. Is that right? Kirby helped.
I think he was playing when Kirby was coaching.
Yeah. So I don't know. Corey Raymond, I guess, seemed like another one that was super. I mean, tons of stories and talk about that being really close to happening.
No, here's what we should have known, though. I think we kind of figured it out as we went along, but we should have known from the get-go that it wasn't Corey Raymond. The information on him came out pretty quick. Everybody knew where he was, how long he was staying, and all that. And as far as Warren goes, absolute. I mean, my God, you could get something out of the CIA quicker than you could about Warren. And again, too much coming out too fast on Corey Raymond. It was like, okay, somebody's doing somebody a favor to get him a raise or something because he's not coming here. Because I shouldn't know where he's at and that he's spending the night and what time he's going back. And that just isn't the way Smart works.
And again, like I said, I think the only time I saw his Warren's name mentioned was that, yeah, he is a candidate, but he's not even going to interview. You know,
I think that was someone let something slip. Personally, because it happened the same weekend as Raymond did. I think Kirby was trying his hardest to wait till Elon had done visit.
You bring Corey Raymond in, you put all the info out on him. Everybody knows where he's at. Everybody knows what he's doing. The people have seen him on campus. Everybody's chasing down this Corey Raymond crap when you're pulling Charlton Warren in the back door.
Yeah. Parade him out front and bring the other guy in through the back.
Smoke and mirrors, baby.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit.
That's what college coaches get paid for, though, smoke and mirrors. They do it in recruiting. They do it in coaching searches, all that. That's why they get paid for that, because they're so good at that.
Yeah. That is true. Let's talk about some recruiting, man. We are less than a week before National Signing Day, next Wednesday. I mean, we got to talk about how is Georgia going to finish. Who do we think they're going to finish with? And we'll start. I'm going to go off the front page, my man, of FieldStreetForum.com. George Pickens, right off the bat, wide receiver, current Auburn commit. What's your feeling, Jason? What do you think right now?
Ooh.
This is why you make the big buck.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think it'll be anybody besides Auburn or Georgia.
Right.
I don't think Kirby Smart will be recruiting him so hard and going to see him so much and all that if we didn't think he was more than likely going to qualify. I don't think we'd be doing that so much if we didn't think we had a legit chance to flip him.
Yeah, because that's kind of been the one knock, was that he was maybe close to, was maybe not going to qualify, but now that everybody thinks he's really close to making it happen.
Well, here's the two things you have to worry about. His relationship with Bo Nix, they're close. He thinks he's a good quarterback, or knows he's a good quarterback, whatever. I hadn't really seen him that much. And wants to play with him. And two, and this is just straight up telling the truth, if you're going to one of the in-state schools, Hoover's known for helping you out a little bit grade wise.
Yeah. No, not in Alabama.
But shit, Hoover, oh my God, they're. I think Grayson's bad. Jesus Christ.
Man, sure would be nice to.
While we're on the subject, I'll tell you one thing about Hoover, though. They didn't get that state title this year.
Money can't buy championships.
Yeah, it can. I'm going to leave that one at that. The Central Phoenix City, Columbus metropolitan area all-star team.
I'll edit that out. All right. We'll skip our 2020 guy to the later. Nick Cross out of Hyattsville, Maryland. Current Florida State commit. Deion Sanders, speaking of Deion, brings him across the field at the Under Armour All-America game. Tries to ask if he's sticking with Florida State. Everybody's wondering what's going on. Georgia brings in Coach Warren, and guys, what does it mean for Nick Cross?
You talking about that interview at the Under Armour game?
Yeah.
That might be the worst interview in the history of sports.
I think he was trying to reassure Florida State fans, and I don't think any Florida State fan felt better after that interview.
I tell you this, if I'm a Florida State fan and I watch that interview, I'm walking away scared. Because I'm like, we losing everybody.
Jason, Sanders is his other son that he has, that's the DB that went to South Carolina. Why wasn't he linked to Florida State?
I guess they wanted him. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I mean, it seems like they have open spots. And
yeah.
And they're bad need a quarterback. So, I mean, I'd have taken both of them.
Yep.
But Cross is on campus right now.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Was that because he had already used his official?
This is an official.
He's using his fifth official on Penn State. This is an unofficial.
Yep. Oh, okay. And then is he committing before National Signing Day or just waiting until?
No, I think on.
Oh, okay.
But they said he isn't doing like a big ceremony or anything. They're just going to tell the coaches and put it on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think it seems like most people are saying now that it's more of a Georgia-Penn State battle than anything.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I think either mom or dad, or maybe both, prefer Penn State.
Well, it's close.
So I was the one mainly calling the heat of Maryland because Maryland hired the DeMatha head coach as their running backs coach. I was like, okay, they're going to get half the team.
Right.
But it doesn't look. It looks like it's a Georgia-Penn State deal.
Well, I wonder if with so many guys in the transfer portal at Penn State, I think I read that there was 11 guys in the transfer portal. I wonder if that kind of plays in any parent's mind about what's going on with players and Coach Franklin, maybe.
Yeah, there's 11 for Penn State and 10 for Virginia Tech.
Jeez.
But then one Penn State dude, he's a DV, I can't remember, Wade, I think is his last name, came back and said he's back to Penn State, so it's 10 and 10 now they're tied.
Oh, okay. Man. And we can talk about this later. We can talk about some of this transfer stuff too. And then the news today about Missouri getting hammered by the NCAA and losing postseason play this year. But before we get into that, everybody wants to talk about recruiting, though. So what about the Anthony Richards? How do you see that shaping up? Is he? I mean, obviously Georgia went to see him, but yeah.
Oh,
he's a what?
He's a hard one on there. Cause, I mean, I think there's probably a legit 4 teams that might feel comfortable saying that, oh, okay, we have a great chance to get them. Probably 4 teams saying that. But then, like I think past 2 crystal ball picks came in for Auburn. And so there's some people saying it'll be either Georgia or Auburn. But then, according to how many spots we have, which could just be 2 spots, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
But according to how many spots we have, we may not have room.
Right.
You're going to have to get a tight end from somewhere. I don't care if it's Brett Seether or a Wolf from Tennessee or that other tight end from Missouri now that their seniors can transfer. Isn't the other tight end senior at Missouri?
I think so. And I would almost – I think
the first round pick guy, he didn't declare.
He didn't?
He did not. Nope.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about the second one. He can transfer right now if he wants to.
Now, he can't talk to him until he's in the portal.
Man, you put yourself in. Don't tell me you can't talk to him until they're in the portal. You know, getting doggone well. Justin Fields has talked to everybody at Ohio State before we put his name in there. Come on.
With the investigation like that, man, I don't know.
I'm telling you, he needs to put himself in the portal and go to the dang highest bidder is what he needs to do. And when it comes down to it, we better be the highest bidder. Because we need a tight end. I would absolutely do whatever I had to do to make that happen. And no, I don't think so.
You talking about Albert Okwegbenam or something like that?
Yeah, that's play.
Yeah. I mean,
so if something happens there, because under I can't remember exactly what rule it was, but under the NCAA rules, when you get a ban like that, a postseason ban, and you're in all that trouble, just like at Ole Miss, when they got in all their trouble, the seniors I think it's just the seniors. I don't think it's the juniors and seniors. The seniors can transfer. So that would be the tight end I try to pull in right there, because that would be amazing.
Well, who do you like more between Sealer and Wolf?
You know what? I don't know, but because there's so many good tight ends in the 2020 class, Reed Gilbert, and then one dude with a kind of long name that's committed to Miami, but basically committed just because of Hartley. They're like the number 1 and 4 tight end in the nation. I would take a transfer and take 2 next year.
yeah.
But either way, this year one of the 3 spots, if it's 3 or 2, whatever it is, if it's 2 or 3, one of them has to go to the tight end, whether it's transfer or 2019 recruit. So the other spot, man, I just don't know. According to how hard, I think it'll be a tight end, either Caesar or a transfer. I think it'll be 1 DB, either Cross or Elam. And then if we have a third one, best available. I mean, if you just say Pickens and Mark Anthony Richard wants to come, you take Pickens. Or then if Mark Anthony Richards and Seater wants to come, you take Mark Anthony Richards. I don't know. I would think that's how it would be, though, a tight end, DB, and best available.
What about, and I know we've got some dudes lined up already, but Shepard, didn't Shepard come and visit last weekend? Offensive lineman out of Texas? Is he reaffirmed or anything, or is he still?
Yeah, I don't think we'll get him. I think he'll probably stay with Texas.
Okay.
I don't think Georgia or Alabama's going to end up having room for him.
Gotcha. What about
even if he wanted to come?
other?
I mean, he might well probably stay with Texas anyway. I'm not saying everybody's turning him down, but I think he's probably going to stay with Texas and Texas A&M kind of go back and forth between them maybe anyway. But I don't think even if he called and said I want to come, I don't think Georgia or Alabama has room.
Right. Any other linemen possible? I know Darnell Wright and Georgia. Everybody would love to bring him in, but
I mean,
anybody
we
else?
got to get him. Go talk to his high school coach and ask him how he gets to Knoxville without getting anywhere else. I mean, they got that one signed, sealed, and delivered, baby.
I just think we're pretty set there.
It kind of gets off of the Georgia thing a little bit, but I'm starting to figure out. I'd be willing to bet you I can tell you what's going to start happening. So they have that newer rule to where a head coach at a high school can't go on as a staffer for 2 years before or 2 years after one of their players being recruited and signing with that school. So just say, okay, the Cartersville coach, use him as an example. It came out today that he's leaving Cartersville and he's going to coach college ball. All right.
Mm-hmm.
First thing everybody said, oh, he's going to Clemson. He's going to Clemson. Well, he can't. So he couldn't have went to Clemson 2 years before or 2 years after Trevor Lawrence got there. That's the rule. So I think what you're going to start seeing, unless he's an on-field coach, right?
Right.
So they can hire him as a quarterback's coach and bring Trevor Lawrence, and there you go, signed, sealed, delivered, fine. But I think what you're going to start seeing is, all these coaches have relationships with each other. Kirby and Bubba talk all the time. And I think it may even be happening with the Cardinals coach. These guys are going to start using each other, so basically have a wink-wink situation. Just use Kirby and Bubba for an example. Have a wink-wink situation where Kirby Smart brings in a 5-star quarterback from youth, just like Buford. And we get the quarterback, and just like in the past, they were like, come on, we'll hire you too. So basically doing the same thing, but Bubba will be the one hiring them. So that's kind of the way to skirt around that rule. It's okay, we can't hire him at Georgia, but let me call my buddy, and he'll hire you at his school.
Right. And maybe down the road.
As an off-the-field staffer. And then try to work your way up there, or when your time limit's up, then we'll bring you in here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to do. They'll do something. Get them in the college fraternity anyway, kind of thing. Get their foot in the door, and then because it's all about who for the most part. Get in there, get some experience, and keep moving up.
Hey, does that make me as dirty as Nick Saban? Because I promise you, if there's a way to skirt around the rule, he'll be the first one to find it.
Yeah, you got a ways to go, man, before you get in that territory.
I was about to say.
All right, what about Plumlee? What happens with him?
He got a couple of picks to go to Ole Miss today.
Yeah.
He gone.
He's still committed. But
yeah, I didn't go to see who they were from, because those Ole Miss dudes are always picking people to go to Ole Miss, and they just don't.
One was at Mississippi State, I think.
But
now,
yeah, I mean, look at it. Put yourself in that situation. I don't see a way he stays with Georgia, unless he just loves Georgia that much. So he's like, okay, I'll pay for a semester myself.
Right.
Or Kirby knows he's getting asked for it, and he says, "No, you can go ahead and go on."
That's a possibility. And you know what? That's actually a good point. That's one thing we didn't talk about with Pickens. Just his quarterback being Robbie Ashford and where he's going to commit, because he's supposed to commit kind of soon. Next couple of months, next month or so, next month or two, I think.
He's got a clearer path to playing time than he would at Auburn.
You mentioned Seether earlier, Jason, the tight end prospect out of Florida. Do you think it's Georgia, or I thought I saw a lot of folks saying he really enjoyed his Alabama visit?
Last thing he said was Georgia and Alabama were tied at the top.
Oh, okay.
I think that means whichever one takes me, I'm going there.
Right.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
Right.
That's the Miami dude, or the one that Hartley had committed there?
No.
See, the 6'5" tight end that Georgia kind of got in on after Nada and then Ford transferred. So.
Oh, Seether. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where the helicopter was today in Florida.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
I tell you this, too. I know Luke Ford loves his granddaddy, but that was a bad move.
That was dumb.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, 2 more seasons and he can declare for the NFL, and he was going to be, if not, Georgia plays a lot of 2 tight end sets. He'd have played a ton, I think. Yeah.
He'd have played this year.
So now he's going to have to sit out again. Or not again, because he did play a little bit this year.
They'll give him the hardship rule.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But still, that was still a bad move.
It's still Illinois. I mean.
Oh, man. I saw a picture of the man. I'm not trying to be mean, but come on, man. His granddad's 70-something. Stuff happens. He's old.
Yeah.
Slam down Athens, want to let him see you play.
Yeah.
Kirby, nothing like it happened. Well, that was a bad move. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not just saying that because we need tight ends now, and I'm unhappy because he left because we're at the end of the position. Just looking at it, honestly, just from his side, that was a bad move.
I agree, man. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting between, you mentioned Eli Wolf also as a possible transfer. I think he's probably, I always think it's Wolf, Seether, and then hopefully, like you said, they'll go after the Missouri tight end. But
I think what you're going to see is, you're going to see Brett Seether go somewhere else. And kind of the same deal with Plumlee. I think the same deal goes with transfers. If they transfer now, they count towards the 2019 class. If they transfer after National Signing Day, and the same amount of time that Plumlee would have had to pay for himself to go to Georgia, on the same timeline as the Plumlee situation, they transfer after that, they count to the 2020 class. So I think what you'll see is a guy like Eli Wolf waiting and taking a few visits and then committing to whatever school he wants, and whatever school he commits to, he counts for them on the 2020 class. I think that's what you're going to see Georgia trying to work out with a tight end.
Is that why people usually transfer after the spring game? Or they're going to say they're going to transfer?
I would think. Either that or they want to use the spring game to make sure that, they're not going to be bumped up and be a starter or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so I would think the guys that we would expect Georgia that would leave, we're probably going to wait a little bit before they do anything. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think you'll see some more transfers from UGA after spring practice.
Which really, we probably could take some of our depth on defense and pretty much trade them for wide receivers or a tight end. Probably be a better use of resources.
I'm telling you this right now, though. When people have mentioned it on the board, I'm beginning to halfway agree with them. And I know this is getting off topic from UGA recruiting those to UGA. If I'm named McBride, I'm telling them to put me on offense. I'm putting him out there as an H-back.
Who?
Yeah.
McBride. He was running back in high school. That dude could run. He's big. He could stand to even put on 10, 15 more pounds to get that much bigger and not lose speed. I'd line that sucker up at H-back and let him run because he can fly.
Well, I would even kind of go on that point. I would say Richards and Seether. I don't think Curry really wants them because he doesn't want to mess up 2020 class. I think he knows he's got bigger fish to fry. And I think if you get either one of those guys, it's probably going to mess up what you're trying to do in the next year's class.
I don't think it'll mess it up as far as a Reed Gilbert or the guy committed to Miami worried about coming in. And, I mean, this isn't a bash on Seether or anything, but sometimes guys are just better. I mean, it's sports. Some guys are just better than other guys at it. And so I don't think either one of them are going to come in and say, ooh, they got Brett Seether, I better go somewhere else. I think it'll probably more or less us up numbers-wise than anything we can get to next year. That's why I said I would just do the tight end thing. I would wait for Wolf and let him come in after and count towards the 2020 class and just be done.
Well, and Jason, don't you think next year the 2020 tight end class is just way deeper than what's available right now, too?
Oh, easily.
I mean, between Gilbert and the guy from Vegas and
I mean, that's not to knock on anybody, but not even what's available, just better than the 2019 tight end class altogether.
Yeah, that Hartley is going to end up being big.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, we're talking.
I mean, you have a Reed Gilbert who is, daggum 6'5", 250 and runs like a deer, and looks like it when he runs. I don't know how he can be 6'5", 250 and look so smooth. But I mean, that dude can play. He's smooth. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the Darnell Washington.
He's crazy.
Vegas. That dude's freaking 6'7", 240.
Oh.
He's a freak.
And then you got Dominic Mamarelli, who's from Naples, Florida, committed to Miami, but basically said it's because of Hartley, that we could easily try to get. I mean, there's a bunch of them, and they're good.
I mean, do you possibly? I mean, I think you do. I think you take him however you can, but like, could you bring in all three of those? Like, bring in the two as true tight ends, and then have Gilbert come in as an athlete?
No, I don't think you're going to bring in three tight ends.
No,
I wouldn't think.
But do you think Gilbert his true position next year is tight end?
Oh yeah, either that or defensive end.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll be able to find him out wide and everything, but I don't think he's going to play defense.
Really? Okay.
This dude likes scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, he's just a beast on the defensive side.
That's what
I'm sitting here looking at the list, and I'm looking at the 247 composite, the 2019 top tight end recruits. Number 1, number 2 is Baylor Cup and Keon Zipper. And then you switch it and you look at the 2020 top-rated tight ends and add a Reed Gilbert to it, and there's about 6 before Baylor Cupp, who was the top tight end this year. That's not to say anything bad about this Baylor Cupp dude because he can play too, but, I mean, they're just that strong.
Yeah, it's a crazy year next year for tight ends. I mean, I say go transfer route big time and then go all out for next year, especially having Hartley with a full year to recruit those guys. Bro, I'm going all in for next year, and like I said, go transfer this year and make it, just work it out that way, dude.
Every year with Kirby, we're always saying next year's class is going to be crazy. That dude does not chill when it comes to recruiting.
Yeah, that's because that dude doesn't sleep.
Nope.
Right. And the good thing is next year's class is usually crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the lad.
Next year's, yeah. He's got a lot of stuff on his plate for next year, but only thing I don't really know that he's got on his plate is the quarterback. I could not tell you who he's going to. Ashford, he got that with what he's got in every other position. He should be good to go. He's getting to pick a litter at most of these positions next year.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've been thinking this. I think what we do is if Fromm goes early, I think you might see a transfer come in. That's the big thing now. Oklahoma bringing in transfer. Will hopefully start for them, according to them. Missouri, everybody trying to get transfers. I think you'll find out that, okay, these other guys may not be quite ready yet. Who can we go get?
Right. Yeah, because I think Mathis may need more than a year to develop and be truly ready.
I'll tell you what I would have done, and this is why I'm not a college coach, because I get fired. After watching that QB1 show when Fromm was on there and Martell was on there, there are many quarterbacks that I would just hated more than Tate Martell because his attitude on that show, I didn't like it. It sucked. I just don't like it. But I'm telling you right now, the second Fields transferred to Ohio State, I'd have brought Tate Martell in. Just as a big F.U.
Yeah.
I don't even like him.
I know. He is so just douchey, basically.
My God. But I
don't know what bugs me worse, him or how his parents just act like they just reinforce his attitude.
He's in college now, but even then, when he was in high school doing that show, I'm like, I would knock this kid out. I'd like to slap his dad in the face.
Yeah. And the way he treated, I was surprised that coach took that, how Tate treated him, because changing the plays and pulled him out. He pulled him out of that game, and not to get too deep into it, but just that coach seems like he's I don't want to say he's like a huge disciplinarian, but he seems like he's definitely got the players' attention and knows how to get their attention. And he just kind of let Tate kind of walk all over him in that situation too, I thought. But
some of those coaches do that with their star players, though.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Jimmy Johnson even said there's a difference. I think somebody said, or who was the player? There was a player that fell asleep in a team meeting or something, and Jimmy Johnson cut him. And one of the reporters asked him about it, and, he's like, do you do that for any player? And he's like, well, no. If Troy Aikman fell asleep in a meeting, I'm going to go over and say, Troy, now wake up. It's time for the meeting. So you got to kind of pick and choose a little bit, but
I don't know, man. the way he treated that coach was, I don't know. Well, man, it was interesting to watch. I did enjoy the first season. I was looking forward to the second season, and then it's finally on Netflix, and I'm not going to watch it now because it's just going to bug me because it's Fields on there for 2. So that's it.
Well, let me tell you a quick story real quick about how I treat the star player. Harder than anybody else, number one.
Right.
Harder on them than anybody else, number one. Number 2, this actually happened. I will not exaggerate any. I will tell you exactly what happened. Central versus Smith Station. Talked to the team beforehand, for the game. Said, you're about 50 points better than them. So when we get way ahead, they're going to try to coax you into fighting them and get you kicked out for the next game because the next game is a big game. I said, if any of you get a 15-yard penalty, I'm done with you. Don't come to practice the next Monday because you're going to puke. Don't do it. Star player, third quarter, 15-yard penalty. Got there that Monday. I did not make him puke. I grabbed a chair. I sat him on the 50-yard line. I sent somebody to get ice cream. I sat him on the 50-yard line with his ice cream, and I said, no calls. I won't say his name because I don't want to embarrass him. I said, because such and such puts himself above the team and thinks he's more important than everybody else. He's going to sit here and eat this ice cream while all of you, all 100 and whatever other players, ran until he ate the ice cream. True story, no exaggeration. It's exactly how it happened. Parents called in the next day and thanked me.
Did he get another 15-yard penalty?
No, he's not. And he is, after that, something kicked into him. He went from making A's, B's, and C's in one D to all A's and B's. He went to college, got a college education, and made all A's and B's in college.
Sweet.
No, you can't play that crap with those star players like that. I made that deal and embarrassed the hell out of him. He sat there and ate ice cream on the 50-yard line. All his buddies ran. They were pissed, too.
I bet. I bet. Yeah, I'm kind of more along those lines. Elevate, make them play to a higher standard kind of thing, The star players, your top players. They're supposed to be that for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't just rail on them either, You build them up more than you tear them down, but sometimes you just got to tear them down.
Right. All right, we mentioned it a little bit before, but Kaiir Elam, 6 days from now, who is he signed with?
Either Florida or Georgia.
All right, you get one pick. Who is it? Or how about this? Is it Georgia? After, like I said, 6 days from now, does Georgia have Elam or Cross, neither or both?
Or I don't think we're going to lose out on both.
Okay.
I don't think you can get a good read on Elam right now. Because, the one interview after Georgia hired Warren, he didn't make, a huge deal out of it, but it was a Florida guy doing the interview, so,
If you had a preference, would you prefer Cross or Elam?
Elam.
Elam? Okay.
With us having Campbell and us having Stokes and us getting Tyreek Stevenson and me being pissed off at LeCount for his tackling and not being sure if Reese is a true safety or more like a smaller linebacker, star-type player, I'd probably say Cross.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put Cross back there so we could move Reese to star.
Okay. How about Pickens? 6 days from now, if you have to pick one school, who do you see him signing with?
I'll tell you this: with everybody left on the board, if I could only pick one player, it'd be Pickens.
Yep. Overall, over everybody we just talked about.
Over anybody else. Yeah. If George only had one spot, and he said I'm coming, then I'm telling everybody else no.
Okay.
As far as who he picks, I think, honestly, with Kirby Smart and them working so hard, I have to think they have a great chance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. That's a hard one. My heart wants to say Georgia, and my head wants to say he sticks with Auburn because in most of these cases they end up sticking with the team they were with.
Mm-hmm.
I think his relationship with Bo Nix is that good.
Right.
But I think his relationship with Robbie Ashford is that good. And so where's Ashford going, 2020 quarterback? And how much have we sold him on Malzahn probably losing his job? So,
right.
I mean, there's a lot of contingencies in there. That makes it hard. The gut says probably stick with Auburn.
Mm-hmm. How about transfer guys, wide receiver? I know Cager and Amator Bahibi, I believe, from USC, are both in the
I don't think we go
portal.
after him. And I think it's going to be the same situation as Caesar and a transfer tight end, and the same situation as Elam and Cross. I don't think you're going to see us pick up Pickens and Cager. It'll be one or the other, I believe.
Gotcha. I was a little surprised, and I didn't see a whole lot of fanfare about it. Maybe it wasn't a huge deal, but Ezra transferring from Miami to Georgia Tech. I know he's from Georgia, but I didn't realize he was on the move, to be completely honest.
I think he's one of those. He's kind of in between, where he's not really fast enough to be a outside receiver, or not really tall enough and athletic enough to be the outside receiver, but then not quite fast enough to be a slot receiver. You know, like Nicole and Cook and all those guys like that. I think that's what kind of the position he's in. But then when you have a team like the Nerds going from a stupid triple option to trying to run something regular now, I mean, you basically grab who you can get. I think it'd be a good pickup for them, but I mean, I don't think he's going to go out and get 1,000 yards receiving with anybody.
Right. Now, a little bit of 2020 talk. I know National Signing Day next week, but what's the situation with Brinson and him decommitting? Is it another team just making a move? Is it kind of mutual? Is it what's kind of the word anybody's hearing on that?
Yeah, that's you,
or is
Dustin.
there?
You know as much. Dustin knows as much as
Or
I
was
do
it
about all
a
that.
surprise?
Well, I don't have any insider. I haven't been checking in with anybody, but I think Kirby gave him an offer, and he had no stars at the time. It was a good way for him to get some publicity, but that's a hot take. But that's how I truly feel what went down. He visited Alabama, but he was to commit to Alabama. It'd be another Chaney situation where 6 to 9 months down the road, they really don't want him anymore. I think Kirby's probably actually excited that, well, not excited, but I think Kirby's completely okay with him not being on the list anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Do you disagree, Jason?
I think you worded it perfectly. I mean, if you're looking at it, you already got Jamil Burroughs and then Azir Stackhouse. I mean, again, not a knock on Warren Brinson or anybody else, but I mean, it's just some people you just think are better than others, and that's what sports is all about. You try to get the best. So I mean, you don't want to come across as you're just bashing on somebody, but I mean, you know, I already have Burroughs and Stackhouse. I mean, you can't take 10 defensive linemen in one class, so I mean, you got to limit it to something. I mean, who are the other 2020 defensive linemen are you telling no to keep Warren Brinson on?
Right.
I'm not telling Breesy no.
Right.
Do what, Dustin?
No, I was saying Murphy's in the mix too, isn't he? Miles Murphy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not telling Breesy no. I'm not telling Murphy no. I mean, if Jordan Burke would probably go to South Carolina or Clemson, but I mean, recruiting him, I'm not telling him no. I'm not telling the dude. I'm not telling Damon Clowney no. I'm not telling Ojulari no. I mean, that's some hard decisions to make.
Right.
And even the dude from where's he from? Michigan. Dwan's teammate that they're fighting over for offensive line and defensive line.
Justin Rogers.
Justin Rogers. If he wants to play defense on the line, I'm certainly not telling him that.
No.
So, I mean, again, not to bash on Brent or anything, because he'll be a great player for somebody somewhere, but, I mean, there's a lot of dudes I'm not telling no.
Well, Dustin, here's a subject that I'm going to let you just run with for a minute, is the 2020 running backs. And Georgia had a few on campus fairly recently, so kind of give us a rundown of some of the backs that visited and your thoughts on those guys.
Man, that's a loaded question. So we had Lloyd from Maryland. He visited. I think he's number 3 or 4 running back in that class. Then we had.
Who he remind you of that?
He reminds me of Nicholas Chubb.
Thank you.
So we had him, and then we also had the number 1 running back from Texas. I know that's not Bowman, is it?
No, that's Evans.
Bowman's Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, Evans.
Bowman's Florida. Zachary Evans is number 1 for Texas.
And then, I know he didn't visit this weekend, but then we flew out and saw Bowman in California, correct?
No, Kendall Milton's in California.
Milton in California. But, I mean, pretty much any of the top 10 running backs we had that we wanted. And then we had one other one that was right on the top 10 list from
Texas.
There you go.
Seth McGowan.
Yeah, so I personally think if I had to guess today, obviously we got a long time till next year's time, I would say we would end up with McGowan and Lloyd. That would be my pick on the two that we would get. I know Jason thinks we're going to get Lloyd and Milton, but...
No. Tell me this. Okay. There's some big-time in-state running backs, right? You got Tank Bigsby.
Right.
You got DeJune Edwards. You go after any of the in-state guys over these Florida, Texas, and California guys. And Lloyd for Maryland.
Personally, I wouldn't. Now, let's be for real. We know Kirby. He has more insurance plans, probably Geico does. So he's going to recruit everybody like he thinks they're going to be there at the very end. But I think personally, he thinks Milton's a lot more realistic for him. I think he pretty much knows he has. Well, I know this is crazy for other people, but I think he thinks he has Lloyd in the bag for right now. But I think McGowan is probably our realistic second option. And he's going to take two of these, correct?
Yeah, I think we take two.
Okay.
I think
give me your take.
If we go just dream class, like who I would do if I just had my picks, it'd be Lloyd and Evans. But I think Evans takes them. I think he stays in state. I think if Evans goes anywhere, he stays in state. And then as far as realistic out-of-state options, as far as our chances in order, I would go Lloyd first. And I think this is where I'm going to shock you. Bowman second. Then Ashad Clayton third. And then Milton. And then Evans. As far as realistic.
Do y'all think the Bowman kid with Florida loading up on his teammates from last year, or this year, I guess, do you think that's going to play into effect with, Florida having so many of his teammates from Lakeland going to play? Be a big play?
Why I put Bowman at number 2 on my realistic list, because I think people are playing that up too much. I think he's had legit long-term running back view interest in Georgia much longer than he has Florida. And I think his teammates being there will blow over because, Lakeland has D1 players every year, and they go all kinds of places. And they're known for sending people to Florida historically, especially when Meyer was there. But I think he looks at the offense that Mullen's known for running and the offense that he runs. I think he looks at Georgia and the running backs that we use and how we use them. And I think that overtakes the 3 Lakeland guys committing there. Zipper and who else? Those 3 guys, whoever it was. I think that trumps those 3 Lakeland guys going there. But I think we really have chance to get Marshawn Lloyd and DeMarcus Bowman.
And
Yeah,
I think you got a scenario where somebody's going to have to break and commit because they don't want the dominoes to fall and them not be in there. I think that's pretty much true for at least 3 of them.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know enough about Seth McGowan to even say one way or another. That's why I just didn't even say his name, because I just don't know. I mean,
Okay,
like Dustin said, it's early, so I mean, God, between
Right.
now and 2020 early Saturday, 1,000 things can happen. So,
okay, so what's your player comps for Evans, Bowman, and Milton then?
man, I ain't watching that much today, son. I'll be sitting here just watching Hubble videos all day.
So what you're telling me is that you've watched, the only one you've watched a lot of film of is Lloyd. So that's
And
your favorite.
Bowman, and some Evans, and some Milton.
Okay, so you
let me watch
someone
them
that
again, and I'll come back on the next podcast and compare them. How about that?
Okay.
I've seen Evans, and I like him better than all of them. But as far as sitting down and comparing running styles to other players, I don't know.
I thought you were the guru.
No, heck no. I ain't ever claimed to be, son. I don't know about all that. If I was the guru, I'd be making $100, $500, $600, whatever $1,000 a year coaching college ball.
They don't call you
sitting
JC or nothing, man.
I'm sitting here on the couch just like you are, buddy.
Jason needs to get that analyst money, man.
Shoot, I don't know all that. Shoot. Y'all don't get this idea.
All right, we
No,
mentioned...
but I do. I do. I like Evans a lot. But realistically, that was my list. As far as, like, the ones I like best, I'd go Evans up top, and then Lloyd, and then Bowman, and then Milton. I think, yeah.
Um, 2020, and you there was an article about Breezy coming down and making another visit to Georgia. Is there any chance we could see him make an announcement soon? Or is he just going to wait?
I think he's still kind of figuring out what he wants to do. But it says something when on like either the last day or one of the last couple of days that you can go see those 2020 guys. That we took the entire defensive staff up to Breezy to watch them play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm sure y'all read on Field Street Forum, JC8187, the post he had on there, talking about titles have been decided for defensive staff, will be announced after National Signing Day, and nobody is saying anything about what they are, would seem to hint at another change. Any thoughts on what's being said there? Or?
Let me just throw a scenario out there.
Mm-hmm.
And 110%, I have not legitimately heard this from anywhere. This is just me spitballing. I promise I haven't actually heard this. But why couldn't we do this? Hartley's a great special teams guy, right? We just brought him in. Usually once a tight end coach to do a little bit more than just coach tight ends.
Right.
So why can't we have Hartley do tight ends and special teams, of course with other coaches helping them on special teams and Kirby being involved too. And then that would leave Fountain out, but that would leave you an open spot. And when his show calls is up, bring in Bo Davis.
Well, Jason loves him some Bo Davis, son. I'm going to tell you.
Do what now?
I said Jason loves him some Bo Davis.
That dude can flat out recruit and coach. I mean, he can do both. He's your Pittman for the defense. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
And don't give me the whole crap about he got in trouble in his show calls because he hadn't done anything that all these other coaches don't do. He just took one for the team of Alabama. That's what happened. He got caught, and he shouldn't have got caught. And then he supposedly lied about it to Saban, and I don't believe any of that. Don't give me that bull crap. Like Saban's
Right.
some saint and his coach lied to him for cheating. That's bull, you know what. So as far as I'm concerned, he didn't do anything that none of these other guys did. He just got caught. So don't give me any of that show calls crap and he lied to Saban. Bull crap. And the dude can coach and he can recruit. That's your Pittman for the defense. So why can't we have Hartley do tight end special teams, and then you bring in Bo Davis and you let I don't know what their specialties are, but one of Davis and Scott coach the inside defensive lineman and one coach the outside defensive lineman. And then when the outside linebackers come down, he can coach them during practice on the D-line when they're putting their hand in the dirt and when they're standing up. And Lanning can coach the outside linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Freeman coaching the inside, you got Warren coaching the DBs, and Kirby helping him.
And Hartley can do special teams.
Yeah, and Hartley doing tight end special teams. Done.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying Fountain gone?
That's what I would do if it were me.
Yeah, I personally don't know why. Well, I'm not discrediting the man, but I can't believe he survived this off season personally.
Fountain has a reputation of being a great recruiter. So that's the first thing. I love Goggles, and I don't think anything Goggles has done as a result of Scott Fountain. I mean, I'm not at practice every day, so I don't know 100%. But I mean, there isn't anything we did on special teams where I was like, oh God, we got to keep the special teams coach.
If anything, I think from the outside, like you said, I would give Kevin Butler more props the year before. It seems like Rodrigo was still very good last year, but not even. I think he was better the year before when KB was out there with him as a GA. And I told Dustin this a while back, but what would prevent Kirby and Georgia going and talking to Tosh now that he's away from Alabama and with the Browns? I mean, guys leave jobs in a month and a half at times before. What would prevent that from happening with bringing in Tosh as maybe the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, if we were going to get Tosh, we would have already got him.
I think that Kirby's really hesitant about getting rid of Scott with what he's got cooking for 2020.
I'm telling y'all, if he can stay down on Trey on Scott, I'm telling you, that dude can recruit. He can coach. And let him bring this 2020 class in and see what happens. So everybody will be singing his praises after he pulls in Burrows and Stackhouse and Murphy and a couple of outside guys and possibly Breesy. That's what everybody's going to say.
Yeah. I think Trey Scott's kind of earned his spot at this point by now, too, with both production on the field and recruiting off the field.
Yeah. Everybody started off with Trey Scott the same way they started off with Dale McGee, talking about who's that and why don't we bring him in, and he doesn't have enough experience doing this and that, and now everybody's singing Dale McGee's praises, talking about it's one of the best hires that we ever made.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't think I'm going to let Georgia fans forget about the McGee crap. Talk bad about my boy. And now everybody's talking about giving him $1 million and whatever probably he wants so we don't lose him. When just 3 years ago you were trapping the man.
Yep.
Definitely true.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same way with Trey Scott. Watch.
He's about to get a raise, though.
All right. I think we've probably done all a good bit of recruiting anyway. Enough of it anyway. We'll be on like I said, next Wednesday for sure. Our usual time, 9:00, and talk about all the rest of the signings for the 2019 class. But it is Super Bowl.
Todd Gurley and the Rams, baby.
It's
RBU.
Georgia on everybody's mind now with, 5 Georgia players in the game, playing in the game. It's in Atlanta.
Wait, which
what's
side?
everybody? Andrews, Sony, Gurley. Is they counting Isaiah Wynn?
Yeah.
Okay. And
is there Meek Wilson?
Ramik Wilson is playing, yeah.
Okay, that's
He's
why
still
I
with
asked
the
that,
Patriots.
because I didn't know if they were counting him in those 5 or not. Because I'm about to say it's 6, but if he was one of the original 5, then it's 5.
I think he's one of the 5, but
okay, we're good then.
I don't. Yeah. All right. Who's everybody picking, and who's going to be your MVP? And I'll tell you what, because I've got an idea for a bet on Bovada of just picking the MVP, because they're getting some crazy odds on MVP for Bovada that I think that's probably the only way you can. I mean, without betting a ton of money, that you could make a nice little payday if you hit it. So
31-28 Rams, Todd Gurley MVP.
All right, that's plus 1,000 odds right now. So if you bet $1, you would get $10, or bet $10, you'd make $100. What about you, Dustin?
I'm going Golf and Rams.
Golf is that's. I think that's like plus 120 or something like that, I believe. So you're not making a ton, but it's a decent little payout if you make that. And then I will say Patriots 38, Rams 30, and 31. Excuse me. And I will say Sony at plus 1,200 as the MVP. So I really don't care. I mean, that's what I've been telling people, because I mean, you got so many, prominent Georgia players playing for these, in the game. I'm going to be cool either way, to be completely honest, as long as it's not like Brady throwing for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns or something and being the main the main point man in the game. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good game, though. So, all right, guys. Anybody have anything else missed or anything?
Did Jason pick his final 3, or are you gonna let him just say this or that?
I think he's already dropped off, so we'll just have to leave it where it is. I think he's. No, yeah, he did do a lot of either or. But it's all good. Who's your final three then? Close it out. Or final signings for Georgia.
I actually don't think we're going to get Elam. That's my bold prediction. I don't think we're going to get Cross either. So I'm going to go with Pickens. I'm going to go with Seaver. I think we're going to bank the other one for a grad transfer.
All right. I'll say we get Elam. Elam, I'll say, all right. If it was me, I would go Elam, Cross, and Pickens. If I had my pick of all three.
That's a home run.
But yeah, that's everything goes right. You hit the 6 numbers on Powerball. But I'll say we get Elam, Pickens, and then it'll end up being Wolf, I guess, for grad transfer. But preferably the Missouri tight end. But I'll stick with Wolf for now. If things do shape up more with where the Missouri tight end is going to make a move, I'll reserve my right to change my mind on that.
Me too.
and prefer that. So, all right, man. I appreciate you joining us tonight. Been a while, but we'll be back on Wednesday. We will. Everybody check out fieldstreetforum.com front page for all of the latest in recruiting and updates and everything. Hit the Classic City Cavern link up above, the most current date for all the latest discussion. Everybody sends a lot of links or Twitter, tweets and things like that come out throughout the day. Hit us up on Field Street Forum, Field ST Forum on Facebook and Twitter. Give me a follow at The Real Dre across all social media. Check out my boy Dustin at DWoody15. Also check out playbookathlete.com. Always helping the kids get recruited. But I see if you follow them on Twitter as well on Playbook Athlete, you'll see just, kid after kid after kid who, realizing that dream of continuing to play football, play sports at the next level, getting that college education taken care of because of sports with the scholarship, and a lot of it is thanks to God-given talent, hard work, and also Playbook Athlete, taking the time, getting their name out there, working with these kids and helping and preparing them for that next level. So they just provide such a great service, but they allow us to be here on the Playbook Athlete Podcast Network, and we appreciate those guys a lot. Show the love to them as well on Twitter and check them out as well. And that we'll wrap it up and just look forward to National Signing Day next year, y'all. I am ready to roll and see what happens. Until next week, go Dogs. See ya.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because at Lowe's, pros save big on bulk purchases of supplies and materials they use most, like 30% off select in-stock fiberglass insulation. While you're at it, you can also get up to 15% off select in-stock drywall accessories, and backer board when you buy in bulk. And our dedicated pro team is here to help you get it all loaded up and back to the job site. So, pro, now that you know, start with Lowe's. Minimum purchase required. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.